Hi everyone, this is Garnett Walters again, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on the tritone. I get a lot of questions about the tritone, so I'm going to explain it in this quick video. A tritone is simply this. If you play C to C, the tritone is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps up from C. So in this case, it's F sharp or G flat. Another way you can look at it is if you want to look at intervals, it's a diminished fifth or an augmented fourth. So this is a perfect fourth, which is C to F, and take the F up 1/2 step, and you get a tritone. Or you take C and G, which is a perfect fifth, and you drop the fifth down 1/2 step, and you get the same result. Right? So take the octave, and the tritone is exactly in the middle of the octave. All right. So now, in terms of harmony, the times where you see the tritone is usually in a dominant 7 chord. So, for example, if I'm playing a dominant 7 chord, or a C dominant 7 chord, I'm playing C, E, G, and B flat. All right. Now, if I take the C and take out the G, I have E and B flat. And this is actually a tritone interval right there. So in the chord C7, E is the third, and B flat is the seventh. Right? Now for the rest of this video, I'm not going to play the G because I'm going to be doing some type of moves to show how the tritone moves around in terms of harmony and stuff. Okay, so we have C7, which is C. I have a E as a third and B flat as a seventh. Now, another thing with the tritone is that the tritone of a tritone is a tritone. So I'm going to get into that right here. I have E and B flat, right? Now, if I want to play the tritone of B flat, I get E, right? If I want to play the tritone of E, the tritone of E is B flat. So it's like an ongoing cycle, right? So how does that work with harmony? Well, if I'm playing a C7 chord like I played earlier, right, I have C again, E is my third, and B flat is the seventh. Now, I can use that same principle, having a tritone is a tritone is a tritone. I take C, and I'm thinking, what's a tritone of C? Tritone of C is F sharp. So now the chord becomes F sharp dominant 7. I'm still keeping the voicing that I use in C, having the E as the third and the B flat as the seventh, which was in C. But when I'm playing the F sharp, the E becomes the seventh, and the B flat or the A sharp becomes the third. So the notes stay the same, but the function is starting to become different. All right. So what happens now is you come up with different kind of, I guess, lines. You probably heard this before. Moves like that, and that's what you call going down in fifths or fourths, depending on which direction you want to go. In this case, I'm going down fifth, up a fourth, down a fifth, right? So if I start the cycle on C7, I have C again, E, B flat, go down a fifth, which is F7, I have F, E flat and A. And the next chord I'm going up a fourth, which is B flat dominant 7. So B flat, D, and A flat. Then I go down another fifth, which is E flat dominant 7, which is E flat, C sharp or D flat, G, and then I go up a fourth again to A flat 7, which is A flat, C, and F sharp or G flat. Now, this cycle pretty much goes on and on until you have no more keys to play on the keyboard. So it would be something like this. Watch me. Alright? Now, there's something that that I noticed, and it's that I start on C, go down to F, to B flat, to E flat, to A flat, to C sharp, to F sharp, right? So I'm playing F sharp dominant 7. And again, as I stated earlier, the F sharp voicing uses the same notes as the C voicing, right? It's just positioned different. Now, if I were to go down by half steps, same difference. Right? Same notes are there. Same notes are there. Right? And mind you, the tritone is pretty much used. I'm pretty much using it just as like a skeleton right now. Like I haven't added any other notes. So like for example, you could probably do something like this. Right? The tritone is still there. Right? So the tritone is pretty much the basis of, a bluesy kind of sound, and definitely like churchy kind of sounds too. Right? Now, on the piano, you can kind of get away with, using your left hand, but when you're playing the organ, what the bass notes that you would be playing with your left hand, you would probably use playing with the foot pedal. All right, so then your left hand will be playing what your right hand's playing. Unfortunately, I don't have a Hammond organ to kind of work with, but the same principle applies. All right, now a way to practice the tritones is just go down in half steps. I find that to be pretty helpful, because when you go down in half steps, you're pretty much spelling out a move like this anyway. Right? So, for example, I'll practice it very slowly. I mean, this is kind of fast for me, but I practice it slowly, going down and up. And then, once I get comfortable with that, I start to add some line. Right? In that case, I was using C blues scale. Right? It sounds pretty cool. Another thing in terms of the tritone is this. If you take a tritone, for example, E, B flat, and then you play another tritone, a minor third up. So I would start the tritone, in this case, from G. Right? And the tritone of G would be C sharp or D flat. So when you stack two tritones together, you get a diminished chord. Right? So let's experiment for a second. So I'm going to do this move, right? but I'm gonna add those diminished chords instead. All right. So I'm going down in half steps in my right hand, pretty much playing diminished chords, and in my left hand I'm still doing that pattern, going down a fifth, up a fourth, down a fifth, up a fourth. All right. So adding those extra notes to make the diminished chord creates a different kind of feel and a different kind of color. And again, I just practice it slowly as well too. So if I'm playing the organ, my left hand notes, I'll be actually playing the left hand notes with my foot, and the moves that I'll be doing with my right hand, I shift it over to my left. All right, and then in my right hand, I'm free to kind of, play off of what my left hand is doing. And all I'm doing there is I'm just kind of staggering the chord. All right, I can also do this. Kind of create lines based off what my left hand and what my foot is doing. So yeah, that's pretty much the how the tritone works. And feel free to experiment, because you don't have to always use diminished chords. You can use sharp 9 chords, has the tritone in it. This is what you call a G7 sharp 9 over an E, or put it over C, it becomes a C13 flat 9 sharp 11. And just experiment with the different colors, because the tritone in its nature is like very, very dissonant, and it can create a lot of tension. So you can kind of just play off of that, the emotion that it creates. So yeah, so that's the tritone, and I hope this is helpful. Later.